No excuses, man. We're gonna get right into it, man. Out about this story on Clubhouse. Somebody had came on and said that there's a country and they're already developing. Basically, it was 2 AI robots using Joe Rogan's voice and then also using Steve Jobs' voice. I'm assuming what they're doing is taking all of the videos, all of the audio dialogue, everything, and processing it to the point where it thinks like that individual. It responds like that individual. It sounded so real. Like the beginning of the episode of the actual podcast, and you guys know Steve Jobs is dead, but this, man, it felt like it was real. It felt like he was talking about today on the beginning of the podcast that was set up. Joe Rogan sounded clean, clear, but Steve Jobs, it started to sound real robotic. You could kind of hear it in the background, like an overlay type deal. It was weird. But as it started progressing, it sounded like a normal conversation.
Hello, freak bitches. Welcome to another episode of the Bro Jogan Experience. And on this episode, I welcome my friend who's difficult to describe. I'm fascinated by him, and I hope you'll be too. And he is weird and brilliant, and sometimes totally insufferable. But my guest today has made some of the great technological products of our age, and he's always pushing the envelope in innovation. Like, for example, with his next computer, he developed a new programming language and operating system, and then he became even more famous for making 3 applications for that computer. Word processor, a spreadsheet, and an image editor. That just showed me that this dude was brilliant, had amazing taste, and I would just hope that I could be even like 1/10 of the genius that my friend today is. And I can't even say his name, so yeah. So super psyched about having him in the house today. First time, or yeah, we've had you on before, but not for a long time. You're like Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore in Ghost. You're a memory from the past. So without further ado, my friend who is difficult to describe and wonderful, and I'm so grateful he came on the show.
How's it going? Good to see you, buddy. It's been a long time since I've been on the show. I've missed this. It's always fun.
How's it going? Come on, tell me about Jobs. It's always good to see you, buddy. I'm so happy you came on, man.
Yeah, it's great to be on the show. Your audience is just so different from your normal Apple users, and that's a good thing. It's cool.
Well, you know, I was an Apple user way before I did this show. I've been a fan of yours and Macintosh since the 1980s.
Well, you know, we just kind of figured that out. Even though Apple is big, it's still like 0.5% of the total users. People who listen to your show are a different group. They're weird.
Well, that's good. So you must be a fan of the show then, right?
I am. I am a fan. I mean, it's nice to sit back in the car and listen to you rant. I've always liked you.
Remember, these are 2 AI robots. It was the same with this. It was like a conversation back and forth. Question being asked. You couldn't even tell. And I tell you guys about technology. I tell you guys how it's going to change the world. Our kids need to be getting into this because this stuff is coming whether we want it to or not. And then, you know, I just started thinking about it. And then also they actually came up with a couple of examples of what could happen, legalities, where, you know, you will need to basically trademark yourself, your likeness, all of that, because now anybody could recreate you.
We always ask ourselves, what is the most insanely great thing we could do? And if we can't think of that, then we do something less. If we do this, we have to do it right, because both the positive and negative aspects of our products get magnified as they get more powerful. It will be interesting to see what happens when you have computers that are as smart as people, but much more reliable. They won't get tired, they won't get sick, they won't go on vacation and leave work unfinished. You tell them to do something, they'll just do it. And they will have many more orders of intelligence than people have. The computer will be 1,000 times more important than it is today. We're right on the edge of that. So what do we want to do about it? Do we want to just ride the wave or do something else?
It kind of scares me, to be honest.
It should scare you. But it is also really cool. That's the best way I can describe it. It's really, really cool.
That's the good news and the bad news. It's both.
Yeah. That's how most of life is, though. If it was just awesome, it wouldn't be balanced by something else. But you know what I think about this new world? I think there are a lot of people who are already out of work or who will soon be out of work. It's just not the solution for everyone in the world. Things that are centralizing, like the automobile and the telephone, are sometimes great. But if things concentrate power in a new way, such that there is no longer any checks and balances, well, that is scary. But you have to be honest about it. Are those good things for the human race? In general, I would say yes. But it is also a very scary thing.
There's a story out right now. Darth Vader, the guy retired. And you guys that's where you guys really could think about how the technology will be used moving forward. Because this guy's retired. He sold his voice. He sold the voice of the character Darth Vader. You know, and that to Disney. So that allows them to continue to use the character. Because you guys got to remember, when things are being remade, we always say, well, man, it's not as good as before. That character is not the same anymore, blah, blah, blah. Now it's to the point where you don't have that excuse anymore. It will be the same. You know, what's that going to do with actor opportunities? They can continue to create this franchise as long as they want. Another way you could actually use this technology is, like, think about a singer. A singer's voice goes out because they're sick or whatever. Like, they could still sing. Use this technology to have the show go on. Bruce Willis, something's going on right now where he's lost his voice, so he's going in retirement. But they could use it where, yeah, his voice might not project the way it used to. It might not sound like it used to, but he could still act and continue acting. They'll use the voice. Think about the opportunities with this type of technology. And that's what I'm saying to, you know, if you speak to your kids, if you speak to your grandkids. It's scary how fast this stuff is evolving. It's scary how no one's really talking about it. Man, it's good. It's going to change the game. It really is. You know, innovation is great. Companies don't pay for innovation. They pay for a product. Whether you're innovating it and taking long to produce it, they're not paying for that. They're paying for a finished product. So that's why companies are doing what they're doing. It's hard to actually innovate and create projects or products that are 10 times better than the last one. Tell me what you think about that technology. No excuses, man. We're going to keep this podcast short, sweet, and to the point when it comes to you guys. Peace.